I'm Mark Pinkasavage. I'm the business manager of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local Union 743, based here in Reading, Pennsylvania. I went to college right out of high school. Certain things didn't work out there, so I ended up in the United States Air Force. Spent 4 years in the Air Force, got out of the Air Force, and my father, who I consider a very bright man, told me right off the bat with my first day home, well, now what are you going to do? You have to go back to school. Well, I wasn't sure what I wanted to go back to school for, and I had a few buddies that were in the apprenticeship, the electrical apprenticeship. So I met with them one day, and I met with some other of their friends, and they got talking about it. So I thought, well, you know what, I need a trade. And I was interested in that. I was always interested in math, where you need a lot of math ability in the electrician field. So I applied, and I was lucky enough to get in. And you know, I was happy to start my career in the electrical industry. I became an instructor probably about 1997, so that's you know, quite a while ago. I instructed for years. I became full-time training director in 2004, and about 2021 I changed jobs to be the business manager of the local union. So I don't teach classes anymore in the local, but I did for you know, well over 20 years. So. Yeah, there is a major demand for building trades of all kinds, especially electricians. We're looking at a need that's outweighed any need that we've had that I can remember in my 38 years of career. So we are recruiting. Our outreach is large, and you know, we're recruiting every day, whether they're new people off the street or people with some experience that never knew about the IBEW. That's why our program with iLead is so important, that we can expose young men and women to who we are. And hopefully, if they're interested, you know, they would like to join us and start their own career in electricity. Yeah, once someone graduates our apprenticeship, you know, kind of the sky's the limit. We have people that just work as an electrician their whole life. We have others that take more of a management role. They become general foreman on jobs, superintendents on jobs. Some buy their own companies, and they become owners of these large contractors. They become instructors in our apprenticeship programs and our other programs, or become business agents. You know, so there's a lot of places to advance, and a lot of good wages and benefits to make in your career. You know, to provide for your family and your wife and children. What I enjoy most about being the business manager of IBEW Local 743 is just my day-to-day exposure and my day-to-day dealings with our members. Our members, like I said, we are like a family. Whether it's for something happy and we're talking about something, or if they have a problem, you know, they call me and we try to work things out. We have such a great local union here. We're close. We have many events for the members. I've made so many good friends that they're the best friends I have out there from this local union. So we're really a tight group. So I think my overall best memories of this job and my jobs before that, this local union, is just my association with these great people that I work with.
I got to be honest, what I really like about it is this is a great experience because not only does it show them what we do as electricians, but it also gives them that experience, and that'll help shape them whether there's something that they want to pursue or not. And so I know we have Alicia that she's actually in our union now. She's a first-year apprentice. I was told that Frezzi is going to be a CW, and again, it's a pathway then to getting into the trade, which is nice because that's not something that was available for when I was coming in. Like I hadn't, I was kind of thrown into the deep end of the pool, where this one here we can bring them in and show them and at least give them that experience. Hi, my name is Vincent McBianconie. I'm with the IBEW Local 743. I've been a union electrician for over 36 years. I'm a master industrial commercial electrician. And my background was I worked at Friendly's on Lancaster Avenue. So I know how to flip burgers and scoop ice cream, but I didn't know anything about electrical. So what I like about our apprenticeship and stuff is that we teach you from knowing nothing to becoming an electrician. I mean, I grew up in Reading, and so Brookline Playground and Oak Brook Projects, and all my friends were of every race, creed, and color. And honestly, what kind of inspires me to help teach is because I know what it's like not to know anything. Like I said, when I first got in, like I said, there was guys that had some training and other things in life that I just didn't have. So what I like is when I can bring is a different perspective, because I know what it's like not to know anything, and then to see the progression of the students of actually learning, and you can just see a little spark when they get it, and it takes a little bit. I always say it's not everybody gets it right away, and it's okay. And I never judge them. I said, it's not a race. We're not here to finish a race, we're here to get to the destination.
Our recruitment methodology is important in terms of who we're recruiting, how they come to us, and what is their path. At iLead, we have several workforce development training programs, and our pre-apprenticeship program is one of several. And so when a student does come in, we assess and we probe them, we ask them questions, what type of program are they interested in. If and when they're interested in this program, we ask them several questions that may lead them into becoming a good candidate. And that's really led by our program manager and our team. And then ultimately, if the student has made a decision to say, this is the path I want to pursue, which is the apprentice program with IBEW, there's some other things that we may consider: motivation, determination, commitment, where they're at in their lives, with everything else that they may have going on. And once we are able to assess that and feel confident that they're a good candidate to advocate for, then we'll pursue that. Thankfully, we have had a great partnership with IBEW. Professionally and personally, I've known Mark Pinkasavage, the business agent, for well over 18 years of my professional life. And even back then, Mark is the type of individual that he is so committed, specifically in sharing his story on how he went through his experience and how many others could also go through the same experience with some grit and some hard work. And so I've always had that impression back of my mind that wouldn't it be great that we could be that bridge in getting specifically women, Latinos, African Americans introduced to the IBEW. And by way of that introduction and having someone like a Mark with his ability and his charisma of saying, this is how we do this, it just worked out very well. Mi nombre es Ángel Figueroa, yo soy el director ejecutivo de iLead aquí en el condado de Berks. My name is Angel Figueroa. I'm the executive director of the Institute of Leadership, Education, Advancement, and Development. We are a nonprofit organization in the southeast part of Pennsylvania. My motivation with iLead stems back many moons ago to 1995. I'm actually a byproduct of iLead. We are a full adult educational program. Many moons ago, we solely focused on leadership development training as an entity. And I so happened to be a byproduct of iLead back in 1995, 96, 97. That led me to getting involved with iLead and then transitioning and becoming a trainer for iLead. And then I worked my way up into the organization, becoming today the exec director of the organization. As it relates to our pathway and pre-apprenticeship program and apprenticeship program, I think that a big part of our success is because of that partnership that we have. I tell a lot of our adult students that are being introduced to this world, it's a different world, right? It's a sense of, this is a world where if you show up, you're punctual, hard work, it's the equalizer, right? It makes you equal. And you have leaders like Mark that are so committed in seeing adults be successful in this adventure. So that pre-apprenticeship program is important because working with IBEW, they are the official apprentice initiative. So the pre-apprentice allows us to be that bridge and connecting that dot from us to them. And we know with certainty that once it's from us to them, we feel pretty confident that they're going to be successful in the apprentice program.
Honestly, it was just great to see the progression from, like I said, it was 12 weeks of class, and just to see them from the first time to the last time, and to be honest, the best thing I can tell you is, with the help of Amy and iLead, they're very respectful, they're very motivated, and just like I said, they're eager to learn. So my prep was just kind of feeding off of their energy because they're coming here on their own time. To see that is a great skill, because again, there's a lot of jobs that you got to do, and you might not exactly want to do it that night, or you might not want to be there that day. But I think their dedication of showing up will help them definitely in the future. And I think the other thing is it's so diverse, with everybody. And the one guy that we had to one class, he didn't speak English that well. And I said to him, listen, I will never discriminate someone trying to speak a second language. And that's, again, seeing that passion and stuff and the drive, it's really been great.
So what I enjoy the most, among many things, where it's very gratifying when I get a call from a Mark or an Ed, or for that matter, from my program manager, Amy Markwood, when she says, hey, there's this opportunity for this adult. As we did 2 days ago, we got a call from a business agent who said, hey, and they literally start off like that, hey, I have an opportunity to have someone. And with that sternness and firmness of that voice, I know that that is an opportunity for one of our students. And so we react to that. We react because it's like winning the workforce lottery ticket, getting, not only are you going to go into the apprentice, but now you have an opportunity to enter the field as a laborer, as a worker. And that's huge. That's huge. Not everyone makes the cut, to get to that point and to get 5 years of what I would consider to be high-level, hands-on academic training, and walk out of that 5-year experience without debt. I mean, that in itself is priceless. So that to me is very rewarding and gratifying, and it keeps me going as the exec director to find funders like Goods Jobs and others to say, this is a very, very important program that we have to sustain. This is a workforce of tomorrow's future. So we have to find ways, and how do we sustain this? How do we continue to support this into the future? If you feel that you're not ready to do something like this, because this is an adult educational experience, we take the adults' life very important. We're not going to waste their time. We're not going to go and advocate for an adult student that's not ready for this or has cold feet. So my advice is to those individuals that have an interest in pursuing this, really understanding where you're at your point of your life. Understanding that this is a real commitment. It's not something that you start and you stop. It's either you start it and you see it through, or you don't start and you make your own life assessment of where you're at and say, you know what, maybe today is not the time. Because once you start, you have to see it through. It's about committing. So, to those that would like to enter this as a career change, look at the big picture. It's not just about the daily rate. It's about the longevity. It's about the security of employment. It's about the overall package of benefits. And when you add up all those things, you're going to realize, yes, this is something that if I'm passionate about it, this is something that I definitely want to do.
So anybody that is done with their apprenticeship, my advice is don't ever stop learning. You can never learn everything in this trade. Come back, take refresher courses, stay on top of things. If we don't see us offering it, call us and we'll offer the training. So, we ask a lot of the apprentices, but when you become a journeyman, stay involved. Come to meetings, come to the events, picnics, parties, whatever we might have, and stay involved in this local union. And I think you'll have a great career.
This has been a phenomenal opportunity and a great partnership with 743 IBEW, specifically under the leadership of Mark Pinkasavage. As I've said, this doesn't happen all the time, that we have this type of partnership, and the fact that we're able to get funded to demonstrate to the world what a true partnership looks like, right? And so it is definitely my hope and my motivation to replicate this model throughout the region, throughout the state, throughout the country, because, as I said, these are definitely the jobs of the future. And it's not that, in my opinion, that people don't want to work. Sometimes people just don't know about this opportunity. As I didn't know about this opportunity when I was 18, I didn't know. So the fact that I'm in a position of authority to tell folks this is a great opportunity, consider it, and we have a great partner under the leadership of Mark and his team, and Ed and Venny, the instructors. I mean, these are folks that are so committed, and seeing adults that never have been exposed to these professions to see it through. And I'll leave you with this final story. There's one individual that comes to mind that she started with us. Right? Typically it's always the brotherhood, but we are tapping into a space that now women are going into this profession. And this is a single mom from low-income housing who started with us a year and a half ago, who didn't have a high school diploma, who has kids, and she earned her high school diploma. She was so determined to come through our pre-apprenticeship program and figured out, what I want to pursue to become an electrician. And today, she is working with the IBEW, and her life is changing. Right? And it's not just her life, it's generational now. Because now she could get out of low-income housing over time. She could demonstrate to her kids that this is going to have a generational impact. So that's what we do. We impact generations of people to say that this is possible with hard work, with grit, anything is possible.